Black J-Hova, and this is one sports report I have not been looking forward to doing. As everyone's already heard about the whole Ray Rice incident and how things have blown since Monday, it has just been one crazy week. And, you know, I was hoping by Tuesday I was going to be able to focus more on football, but after I recorded that whole thing on the Atlanta Hawks, and after seeing what had been coming out since then, I was like, there was no way I can actually enjoy doing a sports report, and I'm gonna make another special one just based on based on what's happening, but I'm still gonna want to try to keep it on sports right now, but between Ray Rice and with the situation in Atlanta Hawks, one week I just really just want to forget, really do. So, but I did need to take the time. I wanted to go ahead and look ahead and look back at some things that happened. So here we go. So first of all, back in the NFL, week one, seeing Atlanta come back and beat the New Orleans Saints was an awesome. In fact, I'm certain it was the best game that week. It was awesome, and I was so impressed. I was so happy. And when I saw that defensive turnover in overtime, I was like, oh, yeah, that's it. It's set. It's over. This game is so over. So, and like I said, just see Atlanta pull it out in the end was awesome. I'm like, okay, I have some hope for this season now. I'm looking forward to seeing how well this season's gonna go now. Beating the Saints, and like I said, the Saints offense was still good. Everything was still going for them, and I was like, I sweated that whole game. I was like, oh my god. But other than that, though, Pittsburgh kind of having to come back to beat Cleveland after, I mean, they had been beating up on Cleveland throughout the first half, and then Cleveland just came back at them in the second half. I was like, oh snap! I was like, oh wow, this is unbelievable. Yeah, Denver hosting the Colts. I thought that was going to be a pretty good game, and for the most part, it was okay, but it was like, pretty much Denver pretty much came out with a mission to wanted to come out and beat Indianapolis, and they pretty much did. So made it a pretty difficult day for Andrew Luck, and even though they tried to come back, they just could not overcome Denver's offense and even the defense. It was pretty good. So watching Dallas just get beat up so badly against the 49ers, I was like, I mean, I knew Dallas's defense was bad, but I mean, their offense did not help them at all. Oh, and notice that the this is something I'm going to be doing specifically starting with week two, because like I said, week one I sweated this, but for every week the Cowboys lose, that pillow that I've seen in some of my past videos will not be hanging up there. It will not be hanging up there for every time they lose. And then for every win after starting from week two on, every Falcon win, I am going to be putting on a bit of Falcon memorabilia. Like you'll see some sort of Falcon memorabilia in my videos following this one. So let's see how much stuff I can get on me, and or at least get in the video. So this will be interesting, very interesting. Now moving on to the Major League Baseball, with only about 15, 16 some games left in the entire season. It's now coming down to wrapping up, seeing who's going to be clinching the divisions and the wild cards. So Starting the AL. Well, let's see. I think at least I say two of the divisions are almost certainly locked right now. The East, Baltimore. I'm impressed. Baltimore is actually looks like they are going to win the East. Which is actually a surprise. I haven't seen or heard Baltimore win the East in like 20 some years. This is wow. So um, the only the only division that's still not wrapped up is the Central, and like I am still rooting for Kansas City. Come on, Kansas City! Come on! Whew. And then the West. It's almost certain that the Angels have that division won. And then, like I said, the wild cards are still in play right now. Oakland still got the first wild card at this point. Seattle, let's see, it's Seattle and Detroit fighting for the second wild card spot right now. Mm, so and like it's so right now. So basically, the last wild card spot's gonna come down to the loser of the Central, the second place team in Central, basically, and probably Seattle. So we'll see how this goes. And then the NL. God, it's almost a likelihood Washington's going to win the NL East. Don't get me wrong. It's not that I don't like Washington. Like I said, I'm a Braves fan, but still, and I kind of like Washington. They're okay. Just I don't expect to see much from them in the postseason. I just don't. So that's just my word on that. Atlanta, they need to at least get that wild card. They can at least make that push to get the division. At least get the freaking wild card, for goodness sake. Because right now, St. Louis is still in a bit of a fight against Pittsburgh and Milwaukee for the Central, and of course, both teams right now, Pittsburgh and Milwaukee, pretty much are trying to fight for the other wild card spot. While the West, the Dodgers are fighting off San Francisco, while San Francisco's got the first wild card spot, and I think the Dodgers are still have enough to hold off San Francisco, but the Giants, you gotta watch out for them. They're still gonna be a threat out there for in in the postseason. Talking about something that just hit the airway. As I'm recording this, I just found out this is in baseball, but Chris Davis from the Baltimore Orioles is being suspended 25 games for using amphetamines. So, this and that's going to include the postseason, and this could hurt the Orioles. So, oh boy. Like I said, 15 or 16 more games. It's going to be coming down in the next couple weeks. It's going to get exciting. I'm hoping for some tight, interesting matches to come down to the end. It's going to get exciting in baseball. I got to address the whole issue with Danny Ferry. From what I've been hearing, and by the way, I've heard the recorded conversation in which Ferry made those comments. I'm gonna right now I'm torn with this because as a Hawks fan, it's like I felt with Danny Ferry coming into the organization, it was gonna hopefully help the Hawks actually do better and actually become a better team because I mean, yes, let's face it, our franchise has been mediocre so many years now. I mean, And not only to mention, there hasn't been a superstar in Atlanta since Dominique Wilkins. I mean, again, like I said, the closest we've had to a real superstar uh, in recent years was Joe Johnson, and at that point, he didn't show this. He just didn't show he was a star level. I mean, sure, he was an all star, but he wasn't like a star level player. He wasn't like high. And then, and it's a mate. By the way, I hate seeing that he's been so good in Brooklyn. By the way, I can't stand seeing how good he's become in Brooklyn. But like I said, but he's not. But since he's not the big. I mean, yeah, he looked at as a star now, but he wasn't when he went there. Wasn't like the big star attraction when he went there. So I'm just. But as far as Danny Ferry goes, I'm torn because he's shown he is a good GM. I mean, the work he did in San Antonio, and even during the time he spent in Cleveland, it's my viewpoint is it's all going to come out to how the whole ownership thing is going to turn out, because then yeah, I think he should be fired, but I don't necessarily want to be fired. I know this is really, but like I said, I'm torn about this. It's just this is infuriating to deal with, but like I said, it's really going to come down to how the new ownership's going to look at it, because once then whoever comes in and becomes the new owner in the Hawks, we'll see how that goes. So I'm just gonna let this one play out, because honestly, my opinion, not that it matters, but my opinion, I don't want to see the guy fired, but what he's and based on the way I've heard those comments, he should go. He should. Just, but at the same time, he's done such a good job. He's been such a good job as a GM. It's hard to want to let something go, especially when you're trying to build up something better. And that's my hope, that Atlanta is trying to build something better as a team wise, to be a more competitive team. And because let's face it, we've only been able to get so far at this point, and the only good thing Atlanta's had for them is a playoff streak, and that's about all we've had. So, but I think that for now, that's all I'm gonna say about Danny Ferry for now. And like I said, I'm gonna see how this all plays out, and then go from there. Next thing I want to touch on is the WNBA Finals, and like I said, having it between Chicago and Phoenix. So far, it's been all Phoenix, and I'm not completely surprised, but I would have thought that the Sky could have been a little more competitive, and so far they just haven't been able to show much. And but like I said, and against that defense that Phoenix has, because wow, it's just Phoenix has really come up and become such a powerful. I mean, look at here in Game One, Brittany Griner set a record in playoff and blocks. I mean, that's like she had 8 blocks. I was like, holy smokes! At this point, and, like I said, Game Three is Friday night, and hopefully we'll see how it goes. But right now, it's look like it's gonna likely be a Phoenix, unless Chicago can really be able to score better at home. It's gonna look like it's gonna be a route of a sweep by Phoenix right now, and I'm kind of disappointed, but hey, that's how it goes sometimes. And also the FIBA World Cup. We're about are halfway through the semifinals right now, and I'm like I said, one, I'm impressed with USA, and I saw the USA Lithuania game, and I was surprised. You know, in past years, Lithuania has been a challenge to the US, and at for first half, I was like, he was a little worried because especially between the foul trouble and but Team USA like said that it's their third quarter and it's like they pull it they know how to pull it out once they get out of halftime, know how to pull it out. So big ups to them. So and then oh my god, seeing Spain be beat by France it that was mind blowing right there. I mean, it was the equivalent of Brazil losing in the FIFA World Cup. That's how big it was because, like I said, Spain being the host country, and them being beat by a team that they beat by 24 points. I was like, just didn't see that coming. I did not see it coming. Like I said, I expected it to be USA, Spain for the championship. And I thought it would have been a close championship, but now it's like, and so right now I think it's going to be right now the USA versus France. That's what I'm seeing. Because between France and Serbia, I believe France has the better team right now. That's just my opinion at this point, but and I'll be surprised if it comes out to the U.S. versus Serbia. But right now, my pick is U.S. beats France for the World Championship. That's the way I see it right now. And I admit I wish I had been like making more videos on the World Cup, but I was like, because especially knowing there have been such shocking, well, I don't want to say maybe shocking, but just surprises that happened. Like back in the round of CD, I was hoping Greece was actually going to at least make it to maybe to the semifinals, but they couldn't even get past the round of 16, past Serbia. Brazil taking out Argentina as well. I was like, I was hoping Argentina was gonna be at least be in the semis as well, but they just couldn't get out of the way of Brazil, and then Brazil is Serbia. I believe France is the better team right now, but I still have to watch out for Serbia. This is a Serbia team that, so even though they finished fourth in their group, that at the same time they don't even have a current NBA player on their roster. So, but I think at the same time this makes them more of a closer team. So who knows? This is gonna be interesting. And with France, they're led by Nicolas Batum, Boris Diaw, and they got a couple other players who are also in the NBA. I'm like, this is. I guess that's why I believe France has the better team right now. So hopefully we'll see how this semifinal goes today, and then the championship will be on Sunday. How unfortunate, but still. And I say unfortunate because they're competing against the NFL. But hey, We'll see how this tournament ends. Yeah. Then there's one other story. Oscar Pistorious, the aka the Blade Runner, the guy who ran in the Olympics on the with prosthetic legs, and he has been found guilty of culpable homicide. Well, at least he actually got charged with something because yesterday he was found not guilty of, I believe it was, he was not guilty of homicide. I, but they found him guilty of culpable homicide, and even though he is out on bail right now, I don't know. I think he is going to see some jail time. So let's see how the South African justice system turns on him. So, but that was one sad story I heard about. Just the guy went from being such a star athlete, a Paralympian. He was one of the best, and having the chance to run in the Olympics, and then to have it fall from grace like this is just, at least he is being charged with this crime. Otherwise, had he gotten off, it would have just been like, oh yeah, no, just no. So that's gonna be my report for this week. So I'll be back. Hope, like I said, by Tuesday again. Hopefully, I'll be in a much better mood by then. But so until next time, catch y'all later.